Hello, my name is Jeffrey Range, and today I'm going to be talking about my Sustainable Community Cultural Hub. So, this is the site plan. As you can see, it is located on Willow and Shepherd Avenue. The projected project is supposed to be being built right there in that dirt area that you can see where it's kind of marked the avenue at Heritage Grove. Um, Heritage Grove, I doubt has anything to do with this, but that's kind of where it would be at. And so just imagine this overlaid over the previous image. You have the north parking lot, well, northwest. It's kind of at the corner of Willow and Shepherd, and so that would kind of be your main entrance into the site. But other than that, we have everything that we could need at the cultural hub. We got the workshop and the workshop slash office spaces, and then we also have administration offices, and then a game room, a cafe and lounge, restrooms, obviously, and then also an exhibition slash gallery and an amphitheater, and then also another parking lot too. So all in all, this kind of has everything that you would need to bring the community together. And when I was developing this project, the main thing that I really wanted to do was create an indoor slash outdoor space that would kind of bring the community together and allow them to enjoy that new developing area of Clovis. Because Willow and Shepherd, that corner, it's kind of really really busy right now with new developments going ranging from housing, apartment complexes, homes to new restaurants, new shopping space. Like it's kind of, really popular. So I kind of wanted to bring a project to that space that would allow everyone to come together as a community and enjoy the area and enjoy each other's company. People from, all different classes and creeds kind of enjoying Fresno and enjoying what the community has to offer and the various cultures. And the cultural aspects kind of will mostly come from what events people are bringing to this. I wanted this to be a pretty general, um, a pretty general area, not leaning too hard for one culture or the other. Didn't want to bring my own personal influences into it or anything. Not that my stamp is on there, my creative stamp. It is, but I didn't want this to be kind of a spot for any type of race or class of people. I wanted this to be a general area that could be multi-purpose and could be anything that the people wanted it to be. So, firstly, I'll go through this project. I'll walk you through the layout of it, what I was thinking when I was making it, and then I'll go on to present my sections and elevations and my 3D renderings and finally a walkthrough. So then you could kind of see if you were to, walk through the space what it would look like. So, firstly, we got our workshop spaces, and this would be kind of an area where if people wanted to schedule some kind of workshop regarding, I don't know, business or art or any kind of class, they could use this spot as their area. And this is an indoor building, one of my indoor spots that would be air conditioned and has a green roof. And well, all the buildings have a green roof, but the reason that I wanted to do this was to kind of decrease that heat effect and make this a more cool and more environmentally conscious area in Clovis. And so with that green roof, we will kind of reject some of the heat that bears down on people during the Fresno summers. And then also, I have a few spots in that room for people to do their workshops. It's not just one room. It's multiple rooms, so you could have different workshops going on at the same time. And I feel like that would be really efficient for this space because people wouldn't be renting out well, not renting necessarily, but reserving the room for a couple hours and nobody else has access to it. So this is multiple rooms, so you could have different access for different classes. And if you go out of that and straight down or south, you have the administration offices, which are important because it'd probably not require that big of a crew to operate something like this, but you do need some people that are kind of know what's going on. People say if they need to fix something, or you have security, just anything really. There are a few offices in there and some storage too. That empty room right there, that's kind of at a diagonal angle, that is the storage. And so if you go across the way, if you go west, you enter the cafe and lounge. And so that I thought was necessary because, cafes are really big these days in Fresno. Like, if you go and ask anybody anybody of any age pretty much, if they would like to visit their friends at a cafe or a lounge, they'll probably say yes. For the most part, they're easygoing. You can eat, you can have, coffee or something like that and kind of enjoy the company of your friends or your family. So obviously, a space like a cultural hub or a community hub would need a space like this that you can come and enjoy with your friends. And I combined the game room with that because I wanted people to be able to bounce back from gaming or whatever they're doing in that room, playing foosball, playing pool, jump over from there back to the cafe, back to the game room, so and make it accessible, so they could kind of enjoy drinks, enjoy games, enjoy their friends, enjoy everything that the space has to offer, which also includes an outdoor courtyard. The outdoor courtyard is centered in the middle of the entire thing, and it has some plants in there and some benches. So the reason that I put that outdoor courtyard there is because I didn't want it to feel too much like a commercial building with no access to the outdoors. I wanted people to be able to enjoy kind of enjoy the greenery of the area and enjoy the space, the outdoor space. So that's why I included that there. If you go east to the restrooms, you have men's and women's restrooms, and they're kind of centered in the entire not centered exactly, but they're easily accessible from pretty much anywhere that you're at in the project. And the reason that I did that was because I wanted you to have access to the restrooms no matter where you were at. So if you were in the workshops, you could easily reach the restrooms. If you were in the game room, you could easily reach the restrooms. And then, say the parking lot, if you want to go straight from the parking lot to the restroom for whatever reason, you could do that too. And so south of that is my exhibition slash gallery space. That is an outdoor space. Technically it's an enclosed area, but there is no roof. So it is concrete walls kind of going around the whole thing. It's circular. And the reason I did that was so you could kind of walk through and enjoy the art or enjoy anything that people have on display. And there's also a center grass area with benches and trees. And so that's so you can sit and admire the art, or if there's, say, any sculptures that somebody wants to present, they could do that in that little grassy area. And if you go back east to the project, the east side of the project, you have the amphitheater. That is an outdoor space, and it is also circular, um, kind of allowing for more seating. And if you wanted to do a presentation or a local band wanted to do some kind of concert, they could use the amphitheater and do their thing there. And I also have another parking lot for more access to the different spaces, so it's more accessible no matter where you come in from. So now we can move on to our sections. The top section is my workshop rooms, and you can see they're pretty much exactly alike. That window is from if you're entering the workshop room. I just kind of wanted kind of a big window as you're accessing it to open up the space, and you can see the green roof on top of that. Below that, you can see the game room and cafe slash lounge with the courtyard in the middle, all the greenery and kind of the even spacing that I have going on there. So in my elevations, you can see the spatial relationships of everything and how it kind of is all um, kind of broken up with some trees and various greenery, kind of just to give it more of a outdoorsy, natural feel to it. My indoor renderings, at first you can see that is the cafe slash lounge at night, and it's a pretty nice space, calming. Um, and next to that, you see the workshop hallway. So this isn't the actual indoor inside the workshops. This is the main hallway that you go through, and before you actually enter one of the workshop rooms. And so in there, you can see vending machines because I would assume that if you're doing a workshop, you might get hungry or thirsty, and you might want a refreshment. And then there's also a table there, and then an office or a copier slash printer for the offices because people are probably gonna be doing work and needing to print out papers. And below that, I have my exhibition slash gallery space. Like I said, it's a mostly enclosed area with a big opening, no door. You can just kind of walk right in, and there's seating there if you want to view the paintings or whatever people have up. And in the middle, there's kind of an open area for any sculptures or anything people want to put in there. For my exterior renderings, I gave a view of the amphitheater, which you could see there. And then also next to that is kind of a general view from the south parking lot. If you were coming in, you can see the exhibition slash gallery spaces, and then the restrooms next to it, and then next to that, the workshop slash office spaces. And so below both of those, I have, if you're coming in from the north parking lot, this is the view that you would have. So you got the workshops and then everything that I just mentioned, but in reverse order because you're coming in from the other way. And then also next to that, on the right hand side, you can see the game room slash cafe and lounge building. And yeah, next we will go through my walkthrough animation. And so that was my walkthrough. I hope you enjoyed the presentation. Thank you for listening and have a great day.